Hi there, it's time to look at Ethereum through the Wyckoff lens again. If you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key items I'll cover during the session. So let's start with the weekly chart of Ethereum. Today is a red day. Everything dropped by, around 5 to 10, 12%. And for Ethereum, we have been talking about this, that it's potentially re-entering the accumulation cycle. That's the previous couple of sessions we have been discussing about this already. As of now, I see two possibilities. Okay, one is the one that I shared last week, that if we have a rebound last week, which that's confirmed, the price climbed to the intermediate level of $3,000.70, this dash line level, and then got rejected. But then it formed this little peak, so that may well be the LPSY. However, even we have these, I have a second scenario in place over here. So I'm keeping the question marks until the point we get to see the selling climax. We can't be sure which one this current scenario is. For scenario 2, what we have gone through the past 2 weeks, actually including this week, may well be part of the preliminary support period. Okay, so during this period, the retail panic sell, but the whales started to get in. So we see some kind of buying going on. So it's similar to these 3 candles, right, on the left-hand side during March this year. March, April. That was what, let me draw over here, if you can't see it. Yeah, these 3 I was referring to. Okay, so is it just this period, or is it this period? When we see the selling climax, we can confirm. Okay? So it's not like, the sign of weakness last time during October 2024 and February this year was around the yellow key level, 2,500. This time, it's pulsing around here at around 2,800. It must be a sign of weakness. No, I don't see it that way. Okay? So we need to observe and give it more time, especially because it's the weekly chart and we can't be jumped to conclusion too quickly. Okay, so if this is the second scenario, maybe, just maybe, it's better for Ethereum this time that the selling climax may end somewhere higher, not as low as in 2024. 2024, it ended somewhere. Sorry, not actually 2000. It's April 2025. Sorry. Yeah, this year it ended somewhere around the center line of the long-term playground zone. This white dash line is the center line of the long-term playground zone. So if you're new to my session, I put in this area to track for an extended period of time, for Ethereum in this case since as early as 2017, that about 70-80% of the time, that particular project, the price of it was trading within that area. Alright, only the very crazy distribution period during the peaks, the price has gone outside. And we're now re-entering this zone. So previously I shared that the green line and the top edge, the ceiling of the long-term playground zone, forms a very strong support when the price came down. So that's why we had the rebound over there. It's a dual support. But then this week, as we start, is already breaking through those two support lines. So what we are looking to, besides these key levels, that we may see some sort of rebound or sideways trading, this dash line that April this year, just about 7-8 months ago, tested, is a potential level that the price may come to retest. That one was pretty quick. That test lasted for only 3 weeks, and the 4th week already, started to climb. So let's hope it doesn't come as low, but then, remain in our mind that, that's a possibility. I was trying to refer to the 2022 accumulation when I was talking about this earlier. During that period, it went lower than the dash line, but again, it's not too low. The time that it tested the bottom of the long-term playground zone was actually back in 2019-2020. Okay, that was even before COVID hit. Okay, so those are the worst case, or I don't know, a apocalyptic scenario that we or very little people would think that would happen. Okay. However, for me, I always keep 1 to 5% chance for those crazy scenario to happen, because I never know who is going to come out to announce what, or whatever impactful nation or people is going to make some very drastic moves. So that's why I will never put 100% to something. Okay, so interesting things here to add to the chart. I've prepared these tags because I have been, you probably have noticed, I've adjusted all the sizes of the stages as well as the key level, price levels, so to make it easier, especially for you if you are watching on mobile device. Okay, if you're watching on a larger screen, that should help as well compared to the previous sizes. But for mobile friends, it's going. I believe it was a bit of a challenge back then. When I had these tags in smaller sizes. So to add to these enhancements, I'm going to show you what actually is happening, or what are the behaviors during the Wyckoff stages. Since we are about, or probably entering, the preliminary support stage, that's actually the panic sell period. Alright, and however, it's also the time that whales start to dip in. Okay, so this is possibly what we're going through now. Alright, selling climax is the time where panic is over. What's after selling climax, if we look to the left, is automatic rally. The initial buying after the, you can say, is the first bottom, because selling climax point during an accumulation. This time during October 22nd all the way to Jan 2023, those tests were pretty mild. They didn't go lower than the selling climax. But sometimes you see there are lower points compared to the selling climax, and that's pretty common as well. So the automatic rally defines the horizontal trading zone during the accumulation, defines the top of it. So you see the price only briefly went above during the sign of strength for about roughly less than a week, and then subsequently it acts as the resistance. So sign of strength is advancement with volume. Okay, you see higher volume bars over there compared to the previous. And then let's see whether there's more hiding. Yep, the whales are going to long when the backup is over, or along this period. Okay, it's never just one. They don't do one entry. They've got too much money. If they do one entry, the price will shoot to the, I don't know, outside of the galaxy. Okay, they won't do it that way. They'll do it bit by bit. And okay, this is actually the period for the test. Okay, after the selling climax, this is going to test multiple tests. Test until the weak hands are gone and only diamonds hands stayed. Okay, that's for accumulation. Let's look at distribution cycle. Of course, there's a period where the whales got in early, and then they're going to start to sell. That's the PSY period. Okay, you see there are a bit of initial selling going on. Sometimes it's more obvious, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a white candle, but then it's a very big price spread, meaning something has been going on. Someone has been selling. Alright, if it's retail, they are probably celebrating, and they're going to move. They're not going to move that much, so you know who's selling. Okay, then retail FOMO to the peak, pushing the price to the very top. Of course, there can be late FOMO, fake boo for second test, or upthrust of the distribution. That's the period. And then those are the final offloading during these late FOMO or the LPS wise. Alright, and then we start again. Okay, from panic selling to panic over, all over again. So yeah, when we get to those stages, we'll be able to see, after selling climax, that's what's gonna come. So that's the big picture. Alright, now let's get to the daily. This candlestick with the volume, yeah, it is probably not the end yet. Okay, so if we are still going through the preliminary support stage, let's see how far that would go. And also, if you look at this light blue box, I call it air hockey table, or sometimes call it the channel box. Basically, the past 4 days, it has been trying to go to the stronger side, the stronger half, okay, above this dash line, the center line. But today, completely, eliminated those climb, and also, like I said, it broke below the dual support. So next is, to test the couple of key levels above, the yellow, the orange, and the red, all the way till the point it shows the selling climax, meaning the volume gets to a much lower level and then flattens out and show us sideways trading. If it continues to trade on the weaker side of the channel, if I extend this air hockey table, I'll explain in a minute why I call it air hockey table if you're new to this. The breakout time point, obviously the first one, this triangle is here, but now the price is getting lower than that. If it really is going to come back up to trade sideways over here, by as soon as Jan 1st or Jan 2nd, we'll get to a decision point to confirm whether it's going to break outside of this downtrend, or is the downtrend going to continue further. That reaches the second opportunity around the mid of January. And eventually for the orange key level, 2200, that's near the end of Jan. So multiple breakout opportunities or indications that the trend changes. As of now, we're still at the weaker side, so the trend may continue for a little while. Okay? Let's see whether I've missed anything. Yep, I did say I'm going to explain to you why if you're new to this air hockey table thing. So if you look at the price actions, when it travels along this table, imagine it's the path of the puck. It basically bounces off not only the ceiling and the bottom, but of the center line sometimes as well. So it's going to indicate to us the potential resistance and support along the trend. Okay, because if we just look at these key levels or the dash line, the intermediate levels, we wouldn't know for some of the points, okay, if it has been established as a ceiling or support. Alright, just additional references. When it comes down, when it hits certain point that's between the lines, that's what it's used for. Okay, so Ethereum, a bit later than the other altcoins, but it seems like it's finally getting to accumulation. And if this time it's going to accumulate higher than April this year, or like 2002, 2003, that's probably good news for Ethereum supporter like yourself. Okay, so let's hope that's the case, but don't be surprised if it go down to test this white dash line or even lower. Okay, thanks for